All right, section 4, how to make a website. So when we make a website, we can break it down into 5 different stages. Now, these 5 stages aren't theory-led, so it's not like this is Kevin's digital marketing theory of how to make a website. Some people might have 4 steps, some people might have 12 steps. The number of steps isn't important. I've just grouped it this way because I've got 5 slides and I've given a heading to each slide, and I want you to know how to do it. So making a website is more of the technical elements of this unit, and I've given you a good dose of theory up to this point. So when you make a website, it's basically the functional aspect to achieving what we know that we need to do, like the objectives of a website and the AD model and that sort of stuff. Like how do you actually do that? So first thing you need is a domain name. Now, I talked about domain names at the beginning of this week's lecture, and how important they are and how they work. You know, our computers talk to them. So if you want to make a website, then we need a domain. So the best place to start is with registering a good domain name. Now, domain names should relate to your business and the branding of the business. And you don't want one that's too long, because then, you know, like for direct traffic, it's really hard to do. So a domain name is a string of text that identifies the realm of administrative authority on the internet. For example, Amazon.com. We've covered that off. So a domain name should align with the branding of the business and be simple. I've got a few examples here. So the University of Tasmania has the domain utas.edu.au. Right? Now, everyone in Tasmania knows that UTAS stands for University of Tasmania. But marketing research shows that international students sometimes get confused what UTAS is. And you can actually see now, if I pull up my website here and go to the UTAS homepage, instead of saying UTAS everywhere now, it actually says University of Tasmania. So UTAS did marketing research and they found that UTAS was good for domestic market in Tasmania, not so good for the international market, so they've changed their branding to be more clear. So they've done a good thing there, right? All right, so the UTAS has domain utas.edu. The good thing about that one is it's simple to use. Australia Government, australia.gov.au. Keystone Tasmania, keystone.com.au. Pexels, pexels.com. Now, all of these ones are quite simple, and the domains relate to the branding or the name of that organisation. So, to get a domain name, now we're going to do this exercise in the workshop. I'm going through this now as part of the lecture so that you're ready for it when we get to the workshop. So we go to the .adu DA website. Now, I know it sounds like a funny website, but this website here, I've got these ones here because I was going to give you a bit of a theory session about how to analyse websites, but I was running out of time. So in here, this is not a government website, it's an industry-led site, but this is where it's like a industry association type website. So it's a good website, it's a reputable website, and industry have got together and said, in Australia, the .au domain, so you know websites that end in .com.au, they're managed by this industry association. So it doesn't really make money directly, but it's a group of domain hosting people, right? So if I want to find a domain, now think of something that you want to search for. I'm just going to go back to my lecture slides here because right. So first thing we go to there, search for a domain name of your choice. Now I want you to think of your own domain name. Can't get it back. Now, if I just call it Tamar Marketing. Now, I want to do, that's actually a bit long, but let's just see if that's available, right? Tamar Marketing. I live in the Tamar River. Sounds like a cool business name. Let's see if it's available. tamarmarketing.au is available. tamarmarketing.com.au is available. Sweet. Now, if I just want to do Tamar, tamar.com.au is already taken by someone. So if I go to here, go to that one. I'm freestyling it here. I haven't practiced this one. So this domain name is actually been it's been registered, but it's not active. Okay, which which happens. Sometimes you might buy more than one domain name, and then you can point it to your main domain name, or you want the email, or you just want to keep it for future branding and stuff like that. So then it just goes to a hosting one. All right, so for a domain name that is available, click select. So where are we gone in here? Oh, sugar, hang on. Sorry, I've got so many. So this one isn't available, but tamar.net.au is available, right? So if we go select this one, it brings us up all these people here. Now, these are randomly generated in different orders, but what they are a domain name provider. So if I click refresh, let's see if this works. I'm going to click on it again. So if I click on, let's do Tamar, search here, tamar.com, tamarnet, and it's actually got different order for these websites. Alright, so now we go back to our lecture slides. Right, so click select. You cannot purchase domain name through this website here directly. But I want you to do is select a retailer then and see how much it costs, which I think is a fascinating exercise. So again, this is not theory-led, but this is something that you'll have to do. If you were a marketing person, you'd have to do this. Now, I've used NetRegistry before. I think that's a pretty good one, so we'll go to NetRegistry. It's taking a while to load. Are we going there or what? Yeah, we are. Now, in here we've got Tamar, because it was, affiliate site sent us there, to buy tamar.com, no, it was .net.au, wasn't it? So back order, because remember that tamar.com AU was already being secured, so someone's already paid for that, so back order. So we could go, well, we want to order that, pay for that, or put some money aside, so that, and then if they don't renew that domain, then we're next in line for it. So this one, tamar.net.au, is only $23.99 a year. So you can, the minimum you go is for 2 years, right? So you can see for $50 for 2 years, it's really cheap. So you can see why marketing people then will put a bit of effort into securing these domain names, because they're cheap and they're really important for business. Because if someone else steals your domain name, they could be taking, like someone goes to type your business name, what they think your domain name would be, then you're losing those customers to someone else that's paid for that domain name, right? So how much did it cost? We had to select another retailer, which we won't do. We'll do that in the workshop, and you can see different pricing options in there, right? All right, so the next one now is web hosting. So once you have a registered domain, so we've just say we've got tamar.net.au, you'll need to use a web hosting service. This service allows marketers to create and maintain websites and make it accessible on the internet, because just buying the domain means you own the address, all right? Doesn't mean you've got anything at that address. You just own the ISP, the domain name server, sending people, so when they type in tamar.net.au, to your server, whatever that may be. But you need to pay for that server, and we call that web hosting. The hosting your website on their servers. So web hosting service provides servers which are computers, and we talked about what they are in the previous lecture, in the previous part of the lecture, that store the files of the web page. Often this service is also provided by the domain name provider. All right, so if we go to, I'm just going to quickly pull this up. The domain we're on here, you can actually chuck in, so you fill in all your details and stuff like that. And on, this is Web Central. I thought I clicked on NetRegistry, or is NetRegistry going to Web Central now? All right, that's right. So they've changed their name. So in Web Central, I can put in, I have to fill in my details, which I don't really want to do right now, but I can put in my email stuff options in there, and then I can put web hosting in there as well. So all my stuff is together with Web Central. Other people do that as well. So if I go to just going to freestyle it, ii.net.au. This is an internet service provider in Australia. So if you go to business here, they will actually show you can get your NBN with them, and you can get domain names and email hosting through them as well. All right. So there are many different service providers that offer this service. The key thing for marketing is when you start digital marketing, especially if you start your own business or you're working for an existing company, either you're going to have to do this fairly soon, or you're going to be expected to know how to do this, and that's why I'm showing you. So industry have given us the feedback. They want marketing graduates to know how to do digital marketing, and this is included in that, the practical skills. So I'm not reading off journal articles or lecture slides and stuff here about the theory of how to set up a website, but I'm giving you the practical skills. Right, now a key thing with marketing is, so if you're at this point here, so you've got a domain name and you've paying for web hosting, right, you want to lock away that name that you're using for your domain name as intellectual property, or at least consider it. All right. Now this, you can get people that manage, so service organisations that manage your IP, or you can just click on, you go to ipaustralia.gov.au, which is a government website, and then you can apply to have your domain name and your logo and stuff like that trademarked, so that it belongs to you. I say that, so it's not really a big part of digital marketing, but it's an important step, because if you're doing digital marketing and you're setting people up to do a new branding exercise, and part of that new branding, they want a new website, so they get a new domain name and they get a new website made, but you haven't secured the intellectual property, your competitors could come in there, file for trademark, and then basically steal all that work away from you, or the rights to that, to that trademark. Right, now, once you've got a domain name, once you've got a web hosting and stuff like that, then you can actually build a website which is going to be hosted on there. Now there's many different web builders out there. You can code your own websites, or you can use web building software. Most marketing people will by far use website builders. Now I've got WordPress here because WordPress is the most popular website builder, and it started with a real blogging kind of era, when everyone was writing blogs, and they thought a great way to sell product was writing a blog about it, which is still true in some situations, but social media is much better. So if you're making your own, so if you're paying for a digital so if you're paying for like a computer company, like an IT services, to develop your own website, which happens a fair bit, they'll do it themselves, and they can make it cool. If you're doing it yourself as a digital marketing specialist or digital marketing manager, you might want to make your own website. You can use these web builders. Right, and then the last bit is launching your website. So it's important to test the website before going public. Think about the technology adoption model. So here's some theory from Davis, 1986. Again, this is very old theory, but it's still used. So 1986 is like quite a few decades old, but it's still used today to analyze how people interact on websites. It's technology in general, and it's been revised and improved, but I'm trying to emphasize the point that although we're doing like digital marketing changes very quickly, the foundations of digital marketing are still built on the solid foundations on the sites of marketing, right? And that's what these are, published research in scientific journals. So promote your website to target audience, monitor and analyze traffic, which we're going to be dealing with in a lecture coming up soon, and then improve by search engine optimizations. And that was supposed to be, I can't remember what I had there, but basically improve your website by making sure it's easy to be found on search engines. Right, so that's it for this week's lecture series. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in the workshops when we'll go through some of these activities.